Hi, my name is Leora Rudetsky, and I'm a Senior Lighting Scientist at the DLC. I'm going to share with you a couple of new Luna guidance documents we have created to help manufacturers and test labs understand how to create test plans that meet the Luna version 1 technical requirements and how to prepare your Luna applications. Let's get started. We recently updated our Luna version 1 technical requirements with regards to controllability reporting. As of April 26, 2023, we are now allowing submitters to use bracketing or wildcarding methods within their model numbers to indicate that multiple communication protocols and integral controls and receptacles are available. This policy change brings Luna into alignment with controllability reporting in SSL version 5.1. To see the changes in the Luna version 1 technical requirements, please download the most recent version by going to Our Work, Luna Technical Requirements version 1.0, and then clicking on the Download Luna Technical Requirements version 1.0 button. To find the Luna guidance documents on our website, navigate to Resources at the top of your screen, and then click on Technical Resources. To filter for Luna resources, click on the Technical Requirements Resources drop-down menu on the right side of your screen and select the Luna tag. You can also filter for these guidance documents by searching for the word Luna or the word Guidance in the Search Resources search bar on the left side of the page. The first resource to show up is the Application Guidance for Luna version 1.0. This document explains common testing and reporting misunderstandings that can impact application review and timing. In this guidance document, you'll find detailed information on creating a complete Luna application. The second resource is the Luna version 1 Technical Requirements Guidance for Submitters. This is a companion to the Luna version 1.0 Technical Requirements and provides a high-level summary of the key Luna requirements that differ from SSL version 5.1. In this guidance document, you'll find a summary of information needed to create a complete Luna application, information on Luna-eligible PUDs, and information on the test requirements and supporting documentation for Luna applications. This document is intended to help support your test plans for outdoor products qualifying to both SSL version 5.1 and to Luna. By creating a test plan with Luna in mind, you'll minimize the total number of Sphere and Gonio tests that are required. The Luna version 1 Technical Requirements Guidance document for submitters distills the information from the Luna technical requirements into a shorter document focusing on the information submitters need to understand how to create a complete Luna application. To be eligible for Luna, all submitted products must first meet the SSL version 5.1 technical requirements. Not all SSL outdoor PUDs are eligible for Luna version 1.0. A list of eligible PUDs is shown here. This table provides a high-level summary of the additional Luna requirements for eligible outdoor products. These are grouped by efficacy allowances, additional light distribution threshold and reporting requirements, threshold CCT requirements and reporting requirements, and additional dimming requirements and controllability reporting. Underneath the summary table, you'll find more information about each threshold, testing and reporting requirements, and links to the relevant Luna version 1 technical requirement tables, as well as a link to the new Luna pre-submission tool. Depending on the PUD, the maximum U rating is either U1 or U2. Luna requires that tested products display the associated luminous intensity distribution images and spectral power distribution images on the QPL. To create these images from IES files and SPDX documents respectively, you'll use the DLC's Luna pre-submission tool found on the My DLC portal. These images will be needed to complete your application. For pole and arm-mounted PUDs, shields must be available as an orderable option or accessory. Your model numbers do not need to include shielding to be eligible for Luna. Pole and arm-mounted PUDs may not tilt more than plus or minus 10 degrees if the mounting structure is included with a product. Luna-conforming mounting structures must be included in your model numbers and will be published on the QPL. Mounts must be shown graphically on your submitted documentation along with a maximum tilt angle, but these images will not be shown on the QPL. A PDF of your full distribution testing report is required for Gonio-tested Luna products. This document must show the tested product, including the optics and worst-case performing mounting structures. Your Gonio testing must also include the worst-case performing mounting structure if the structure interacts with a distribution and increases uplight or reflects the light in an unintended direction. Luna-eligible products must have CCTs between 2200K and 3000K. Color tuning is limited to this range. Products that color tune outside of this range are ineligible for Luna version 1. Sphere tests must be conducted on products at the highest and lowest Luna-eligible CCTs and with the highest available light output. Submitters must also upload SPDX documents associated with these product tests. These SPDX files will be available on the QPL for download, so we recommend that you remove any proprietary information you don't want shared. Luna-eligible products must be capable of being continuously dimmed down to at least 20% of maximum power. This capability must be noted on the submitted documentation. Available communication protocols and integral controls must be reported on your submitted documentation and will be shown on the QPL. These additional capabilities are not required, but we want you to report what your product can do. Wildcarding and bracketing is allowed in Luna, but if you have products that don't meet the continuous dimming requirements down to 20%, these will have to be separated out or accepted in your Luna model numbers. A number of examples of this are shown in this section. If you create your test plan for SSL version 1 with Luna in mind, you can minimize the number of additional tests that are required. For example, for your Gonio tests, SSL version 5.1 allows you to choose any CCT and any light output for each optic variation. Instead, we recommend that you test each unique optic at 3000K and at the highest light output, and this way you'll meet the Gonio testing requirements for Luna and SSL 5.1. You will likely need 2 additional sphere tests for Luna qualification in addition to the sphere testing needed for SSL version 5.1. This example required testing scenario table shows you exactly what tests are required for SSL version 5.1 and what tests are required for Luna.
Hi, I'm Aaron Feldman, Senior Technical Operations Manager here at the DLC. I'll be walking through the application Excel form, which is used to qualify products to the solid-state lighting QPL, and specifically focusing on the necessary steps to get those products qualified with the Luna designation. I'll also go through an example of that form, as well as a resource document. To find those application Excel forms, you'll go to Artwork under Luna, and then you can select Level 1 or Level 2 applications. Level 1 applications are applications where you are submitting a grouping of products that have a limited set of variations, where Level 2 have a broader set of variations. For now, I will go into Level 2, and you can click on this Download Application Forms button, and you can see the SSL and Luna OEM new application Excel form, and that's the blank form that you'll work from. And then there's an example of an SSL focused form and an example of a Luna focused form. Looking at the blank SSL and Luna OEM form, and you scroll down, you can see there are column headers here where you'll provide the necessary information to describe your products. Under column E here, there's the Luna designation, and that is gray because that's dependent on specific entries that you put into other columns. So for this example, I'll go in here and select a category of outdoor luminaires, as Luna is only applicable to outdoor luminaires, and specific primary use designations of those of that DLC category. I'm going to select a general application of mid-output, and then I will select pole and arm mounted luminaires. And there you can see column E ungrayed, and so now I can select yes or no. For this example, I'll select yes on here, and then you can see there are some pop-ups that help drive you to answer the necessary questions. This is a link to the technical requirements for reference. And as we scroll to the right, you'll see in blue there are specific notes for items that are specific to the Luna policy. Under model number, you need to include any mounting structures that are present as an option or accessory within that model number. And I'll go into that a little bit more when we look at the submission guidance document. As we keep looking into the document and scrolling through, you can see there's a note for reported CCT. Part of the Luna requirements is that the CCT must be between 22,000 Kelvin and 3,000 Kelvin. If we keep scrolling to the right, another note is on the reported uplight. The Luna requirements do have a threshold value for reported uplight, and that is based on the primary use designation and is noted in the technical requirements. This is the primary use designation I selected earlier, and based on the selection here, you will have the allowable options in this drop-down. As we continue to scroll to the right, there are these columns that are also applicable for products that are not targeting Luna designation, but there is a highlight that as you go and fill out this form, that you select options here that are applicable to the model number that you're entering on this row. So for example, if I select occupancy sensing, then that's noting that the product that is on this row has that occupancy sensing capability. Products could have multiple different capabilities. However, you should only select the capabilities that are available on that specific product. Under dimming capability and range, there is a requirement that Luna products dim to at least 20% of maximum power, unless they are a specialty hazardous primary use designation. And so here you can select if it's above 10% or below 10%, but it does need to dim to at least 20%. And as I mentioned, these columns are also applicable for products qualifying not for the Luna designation. So as I continue to scroll to the right here, you can see there are specific columns that are related to the Luna designation and are only applicable to Luna. I'll go into those in a minute. Another requirement for the Luna designation is that if you're in one of these primary use designations, that your product can only tilt by plus or minus 10 degrees. Products that can tilt greater than that are not eligible for Luna. Similarly, color tunable or white tunable products can be qualified as with the Luna designation. However, 3,000 Kelvin is the maximum allowable CCT within that color tuning range. So as we look into the Luna specific columns, there are more details on the specific capabilities of your product. So for example, there is an option for a low-end trim for vacancy mode or a part night dim. And so for these, you will just select yes or no, dependent on if the product on this row has that capability. And this applies for a majority of the columns here. Similar for integral control receptacle, if you have a specific receptacle available on your product, you would select that option or those options if there are multiple available. There are some columns where it's noted as other, and that's to allow for proprietary or receptacles capabilities that aren't included in the standard listings in the dropdowns. As I mentioned earlier, minimum dim level must be at least 20% in order to qualify under Luna. This next set of columns are used to indicate the communication method to your product. You can see here there are various 0 to 10 volt standards, where on a typical SSL product that is not attempting to designate as Luna, you could just indicate 0 to 10 volt. For the Luna designation, you must indicate the specific standard. And these are just drop downs, yes or no. And you can see there are various options here from 0 to 10 volt to Dolly and D4I. And we do have an other column if your product can communicate through a different method that is not indicated here. You can type in some other method for your product. And that is applicable for all of these columns as well, where it goes into both wireless and wired communication. Here is the example application form that is filled out with an example product family with various options in terms of lumen package, CCT, optics, and different communication methods and sensors, as well as mountings, colors, and accessories. There are some example ordering codes at the top. Now if I go to the reported performance table tab, you can see this tab is filled out with the various necessary columns with Luna designated as yes, and examples of the model number that was shown on that first tab. And this can be used to compare against how you would like to structure your application form and the various capabilities that are available. I'll now go into a little more detail about the application guidance that we've created to help submitters follow the various processes needed to submit applications to qualify products for the Luna designation. This document goes into more details about how to complete a successful application. It also has links to that blank application form as well as the example. The first note in the guidance document is filling out complete model numbers, and these are the model numbers that will be on each row of your application Excel form. The model numbers can be structured through wildcarding or bracketing. Wildcarding is where you describe the various feature and shown here as all color options, or bracketing where you list out each option individually. Either of these options are acceptable for Luna in order to get the Luna designation. However, as you fill out the application Excel form, you want to make sure that the columns that denote the capabilities of that product are related and applicable to how you have your model number structured. An example can be shown here, where you have a model number, and these are bracketed options of 10 and Dolly, which denote a 0 to 10 volt analog and Dolly communication method. Sensors and control capabilities also can be similarly structured as communication methods mentioned earlier within your model number. One note is that per the Luna technical requirements, products must be able to be dimmed to 20% of the max power. So if you have an option that does not allow for that 20% dimmability, then that option cannot be included in your model number. An example here, it would be a bi-level switch dimming down to 50%, which would not be eligible for Luna. To go through that example in a bracketed model number structure, you would just include the options that are available that do meet the requirements. And so in this scenario, it's blank or a P for different control options that are eligible for Luna, and what the sensor receptacle is the blank and the P is for your photocell. Or it could be wildcarded noting here where it states all options except for that BI50, because that is not a Luna eligible option, as it only dims the product down to 50% and not the 20% requirement. Specific to the Luna program, mounting structures must be included in the model number, even if those are ordered as accessories. So all the mounting structures that are available with that product, whether they are included in the model number as an option or as an accessory, they need to be included in the model number for the QPL listing. And so you can see an example here where in a previous SSL version 5.1, a non-Luna application, and the mountings are part of the model number, they might be wildcarded here as all mountings. Whereas for the Luna application, you would only have the FHA option because that is the one that meets the Luna requirement of a plus or minus 10 degree tilt. And here's an example of a mounting structure where it's an accessory, whereas you have a 5.1 product and this does not include any information about the mountings because that is not that's not an option on your model number. However, it is an accessory. So when you are applying this model number for Luna, you would include this note with accessory DF, FHA, if that is the language for your mounting structure that is Luna eligible. As I mentioned earlier, filling out the application Excel form completely will help expedite your application review. So primarily some key points here are ensuring that the category, general application, and primary use are appropriately selected for Luna. The Excel does have those drop downs that are dynamic. However, there are some limitations in Excel, such as if you copy and paste, those will be overwritten. As well as uplight, as I mentioned earlier, there are requirements that are threshold requirements on reported uplight. And then also for your sensors and controls, ensuring that the sensor and control options that you select are applicable to the model number on that row. To touch on some interactions with other policies, the FALD policy or field adjustable light distribution, those types of products are not eligible for Luna. However, there is the plus or minus 10% aimability that is allowed within Luna, and so those will be categorized as not having that FALD capability. And if you have a product that is FALD but only aims plus or minus 10%, once qualified, that capability will be removed on the QPL. Additionally, for white tuning products, the eligible tuning ranges are 2200K to 3000K. Models that can tune beyond that range are not eligible for Luna. A number of the Luna technical requirements are evaluated based on the submitted specification sheet or supplemental marketing materials such as catalog pages, brochures, or installation instructions. One of those items is the amount of tilt if present in your product. Per the Luna technical requirements, products can only tilt a maximum of plus or minus 10 degrees. And that is evaluated based on the specification sheet or marketing or other supplemental materials, having a graphic or image that shows specifically the amount that the product can tilt or be aimed. Additionally, shields as an option or an accessory must be available on your product for these specific PUDs listed here. These shields do not need to be present in the specific model number that you are submitting. However, they need to be available if a customer would want to choose to add a shield to their product at a later date, or you could include it in the model number itself. The specification sheets in particular are evaluated to confirm the dimming capabilities of your product. to ensure that the product is continuously dimmable and that it's a 20% minimum dimming level, as I mentioned earlier. Additionally, beyond the continuously dimmable and 20% requirement, the specific protocol, sensors, and control options that are designated on your product in the application Excel form will be evaluated based on your specification sheet and submitted marketing materials. In the policy, there are these tables here, 8, 9, and 10. Which include acceptable terminology which reviewers are looking for to denote specific capabilities. For example, if your specification sheet says 0 to 10 volt dimming, but didn't include the specific standard that was called out on your application Excel form, that must be edited and included on your specification sheet to confirm the specific standard that is being used to dim via 0 to 10 volt. In this last section, I'll go through the required testing necessary to qualify products with the Luna designation, as well as some of the details that are required within those test reports. In all cases, we recommend that you refer back to the technical requirements to ensure that all metrics and requirements are tested appropriately, as well as to optimize your test plan, as one model may be able to cover multiple different metrics or requirements within the policy. If you are submitting a family of products where some in that family you are submitting for the Luna designation and others you're just submitting to qualify under the SSL version 5.1 requirements, the models that are tested to demonstrate compliance with the Luna technical requirements must be on those Luna qualifying models and not the models that are just being submitted for the SSL version 5.1 requirements. To go into detail about the specific test types, the first one is the LM79 distribution testing. And this is notably different than the SSL version 5.1 requirements, where the distribution test must be on the highest light output version of each optic. And so where in the SSL version 5.1, any light output variation of each optic could be tested, for the Luna qualification, this must be done on the highest light output. Additionally, the LM79 distribution reports must include the mounting structure, as that's noted on the model number that would generate the worst case uplight situation on that model for evaluation. Additionally, product images must be present in that PDF report of the distribution test, and that image will be evaluated to make sure that the worst case mounting structure was included during the test. Moving on to the LM79 color testing and reports. One aspect of the Luna technical requirements is that the highest CCT variation of your Luna eligible products is tested, and that must be tested at the highest light output variation. So specifically, if you do have a family of products where some are qualifying for Luna and some are not qualifying for Luna, and this is commonly due to CCT offerings that go beyond the Luna eligible CCTs, which max out at 3000K. For 5.1, you would need your testing to be done at 2700K, which is your minimum CCT option, and then one at 4000K for your maximum. However, for the Luna designation, your maximum allowable within the Luna policy is 3000K, and a test would need to be done at 3000K. Additionally, this test must be done at the highest light output of offered at that highest CCT, whereas on SSL version 5.1, that highest light output is not required. And similarly, for the lowest CCT requirement, that must also be tested at the highest light output version of the product. Now, it is likely that if you have a family of products where some are qualifying for Luna and some are qualifying for SSL version 5.1, that lowest CCT model may be applicable to both Luna and non-Luna, And so a test of that lowest CCT at the highest light output will cover both your Luna products and your non-Luna products. Whereas if you tested a lowest CCT that is not the highest light output, that would cover your SSL version 5.1 grouping of products, but you would need an additional test for your Luna qualifying products. Lastly, regarding other data files and images, all LM79 reports, if it's a distribution report, must include an accompanying IES file. And if you are submitting an LM79 color report, you must be including an accompanying SPDX document. And those are required for Luna as well as your SSL version 5.1 technical requirements. Optionally, you can provide a XML document in the TM33 format. However, these don't replace the need for the SPDX and IES files at this time. Those IES files and SPDX files must be ran through the Luna pre-submission tool, which can be found on the MyDLC portal after you log in on the website. And there's a link here. If you log into the website and then click this link, you'll be taken to that pre-submission tool where you'll upload those files, and it will automatically generate an image for you, which you will upload in your application process and which would end up being published on the QPL for stakeholders to see how your products perform in terms of spectral quality and light distribution.